Hey everyone, welcome to the Infinite Respawn podcast. I'm Chicken.
I'm Oak Tree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Baka.
So
What
cold. How's it going? Aside from cold.
I love it.
Shut up.
It's so nice.
I think it feels good right now. Normally, I'm not a big fan of the cold, but it feels pretty good to me right now because we left the heater on last night because we had this big party going on or whatever. So I cooled the house completely down because we got people coming over the house, all this stuff, and turned the heater on and when everybody left, and now I'm hot because I used to the temperature that everything was at. So now I'm downstairs and I'm like, yes, it's still cold down here. It's great.
I'm chilly and I have to turn my heater off for when we do the show because you can hear it in the background. So now I'm just sad.
Understand. Normally I have one down here too, but it is off. So what games has everybody been playing?
I finished
I will
Red
go
Dead.
last.
That's fine. I finished Red Dead and I cried. Twice.
Then you cried twice.
Such a spoiler.
What, crying?
Because
Whatever.
now everybody knows it's sad now. Good job.
I mean, it is what it is. A lot of games make you cry at the end, and that one's one of them. It goes on
It's
the
a
list.
western.
It's a what?
A Western.
It's a western.
Western.
Western style.
Western. Okay.
Western. Is that just how you say it?
What?
Western? Yeah.
Western?
Okay. Yeah, I kept hearing turn at the end of that.
Western.
Western.
Okay,
Yeah.
whatever.
Anyway.
Anyway,
That's a weird way to.
I've never had anybody say anything different about the way I say the word western.
Yeah.
But all right, thanks. Appreciate it.
See, he said it again. Huh? I wonder if it's just
now we're
us.
gonna
It's like
point
you're
that out to you.
transposing two of the letters and
Yeah.
making the word sound different. It's weird.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
it's interesting.
Anyway, so it's that style. I mean, if you think about the old movies and things like that of that same genre. See what I did there? So I didn't have to say the word again and get made fun of. But anyway, of that same genre, there's always that possibility that you could end up crying at the end, or it could end up being one of those where you don't. Just kind of.
Well, there's events that happen, it's like GTA, random stuff happens all the time. That's not anything spoilery. But one of the things that happens, depending, different areas have different gangs, and they'll all be upset that you're in their territory, because, I don't know. But close to, usually they'll walk up, they'll catch you when you're coming through, a pass or something like that, and there'll be two in the front, and then a couple on the sides, and somebody will walk up behind you after you've stopped. And you're all
An ambush.
yeah, it's an ambush is what it is. And usually they have something to say, and I'm like, well, I'll listen to what they're gonna say, so I at least know where we're at with the other ones. I had 2 or 3 heavy missions in a row, and I was headed back to camp to pick up another mission, and these people stopped me. And as soon as the guy walked up next to me and grabbed my horse, he's like, I got the horse. And the other guy starts talking. I'm like, I don't have time for this bullshit. I am done with you people. I just pulled out a gun, shot the dude that had my horse, and then shot the 2 people in front and then killed the other ones. I was like, 2 of them took off running. They're like, we don't want to die today. I was like, bitch, you done fucked up. I'm not having this. We are done. Your people have ambushed me 4 times in the past 2 weeks. Y'all ain't learning nothing. Here's how we're going to deal with it. I was just so done with them. But that's fun. I also
So went all Griff on them.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
Southern
mean,
griff on him.
Yeah.
She was
pretty
fitting
much.
into the world.
I was just immersing in the role. That's all.
A little too well.
And I had my first funny physics thing. I was on a horse and on some stairs, but it doesn't tell you where you can and can't take your horse. So I was like, I'll just ride him up these stairs into this courtyard. He stops on the stairs because you can't take him into the courtyard, I guess. So I was like, okay, I'll just get off of him. But since it was on an incline, I got off the horse and fell. I tumbled on the horse's saddle and then stood upright and then just stepped down off of him like he was stairs or something. I was like, okay,
Yay, physics.
that's fun. I don't know how I tumbled in place, but it is what it is. Don't go upstairs with your horse, apparently.
It's rockstar physics.
It is.
Yes.
Right?
The
really
same
is.
things, the same ones that if you I think it's 5, where there's a swing set or something that you can find, and you drive into it or something, it'll slingshot you across the map.
Because you hit the swing
Yeah.
part of it? Okay. That's how physics work for real.
I think it's 5. Yeah, I think it's 5. But yeah, if you drive into it or something weird like that, but and
look
then
it up.
stop it, like slingshot you in the other direction.
Nice.
Wow.
Well, I won't say anything else about Red Dead so that I don't risk spoiling it, but it's really good and everybody should play it.
I'm probably about to play it just because of the music alone from the freaking Game Awards. Like, I was like, okay, I'm sold. I've got to do this. I'm not crying. I'm not crying. You stop.
Oh, wait till you play the game.
I know, right?
I'm not crying. Okay.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
It's GTA 4, by the way, Baka. I looked it up.
With the swing
Is
set.
it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I knew it was one of the more recent ones, but
That's funny. Funny.
Well, what about
about
everybody
you?
else?
I'll go next. That's fine. More Sea of Thieves, a little bit of Pokemon. Sea of Thieves, I am now 49, 48, 48, and almost 49, 49s on those and 50 for the first one. So I'm really close to Pirate Legend. Really, 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 really close. We had some really good experiences the other night. We ended up with 3 people, I think, in an alliance. And we just went around and just kind of we fought against ghost ships, like all different types of stuff, and ended up with fighting a fort. Like one group ended up going to fight a fort while the rest of us were fighting ghost ships, and like it was a great experience because you had all this loot everywhere, and that kind of helped raise your stuff too. And then we ended up getting caught by the Kraken, and No Pants and I are on the ship, and one of our players gets killed because she's nearly dead anyway, and she ends up getting killed. Well, we were on a brig, and the Kraken wrapped over the top of the bottom half of the ship. So we're stuck on one side of the tentacle. We can't get over to the other side of the tentacle because of where it's at. So the ship sunk because there was no way to get over there at all. And I was like, oh my God, our ship just sunk, all this shit on it. What the hell are we going to do? So we immediately get on the new ship, and I had marked on the map where our friends were at because they were close to us, so I knew about where we sunk at. And then all of a sudden I saw their ship stop, and their ship stopped. They sunk too. The Kraken sunk 2 of us. And I was like, okay, first, I don't think I've ever been sunk by the Kraken, ever. And now it's done 2 of us? Okay. So I happened to mark the maps in the right spots and head our ship over, and we got every single bit of the material. But what they had done is instead of patching themselves, they moved all their shit to a rowboat. And because the rowboats will float afterwards, so all we had to do was look for the rowboat for theirs, and then we were searching for ours. And they even picked up some of ours when they got in there. So it was crazy. But it was fun. We had a good time. So what about you, Baka? What you got?
Overwatch, trying to get duplicates out of loot boxes for the winter event, because I think me and Griff are on a streak. Like every loot box I have open since like the summer has always had a duplicate.
Lucky.
And then the little bit of pots and Pokemon Let's Go, trying to work on that before I grab Smash Brothers Wednesday.
Red's already
because-
playing it.
Yeah, I'm giving him a head start before I crush him.
Well, you gotta go unlock all the characters, so enjoy that.
I'm pretty sure I can still do the job with Kirby.
Yeah, that's true.
Somehow I don't not believe him. So. What about
Alright,
you,
Chicken?
I've been streaming a game called 7 The Days Long Gone.
I saw that. I didn't get the chance to see what was going on there. How is it?
It's a pretty interesting game. I didn't know entirely what to expect. I bought it in the Steam summer sale, filled up my library with a bunch of single player games to fill, and it's actually really fun. It's an isometric stealth thieving kind of game. It's really good gameplay. It's like a mix of Assassin's Creed and like I guess Diablo-esque style. Maybe it's like Styx also. I don't know. It's pretty interesting. I'm enjoying it. It's a huge open world with, you're just kind of free to do whatever you want. but I'll be playing that again. I'm gonna try to fix my schedule to where I stream 4 days in the afternoon, 5 days at night, and then single player in the afternoon, multiplayer at night, something, whatever I'm feeling. So that's what I played last week. Little Hots. Oh, I also was playing Forza last night. Forza Horizon 4, I think that's what it's called.
The one that comes with the Game Pass?
Yes.
Yeah.
And for the record, everybody who does not have Game Pass, get Game Pass. It is $1, just $1, till January 1st or January 4th. Just $1. You get $1, and you have access to the entire library, and you can download whatever you want. So for $1, it's just too worth it. So I did that, and also I played Anthem. It's a video game. And that's all I can say about it.
That's what you'll get when there's an NDA. It is a
Yes,
video game.
It is a video game.
And they were not playing with people that broke that NDA.
It's not a movie, right? It's a game.
I cannot say that. It is a video game. But yes, as Griff was saying, they are very serious about the NDA. Actually, a guy decided to, I guess, see how far they would take it, and he pulled up his stream. And he tried to stream it, and before he even got out of the this is what they say, before they even got out of the start menu, they closed his game and it took away his entire Origin library.
Yup. They were
Wow.
not playing.
Yeah, it's a non-disclosure agreement, which means when you sign it, you agree that you are not going to say, post, or do anything about it. It's like you cannot show anything of it.
Yep.
Which is why I said I played it. You could say you played it, but that's it. You cannot follow it up with anything. No opinions, no videos, nothing. So, and that poor guy. And for some of you folks who are on the fence for Anthem or whatnot, you will have your own chance to play it because they are doing what I have said Bethesda should have done. An open beta, February 1st, Griff's birthday.
It's my birthday.
February 1st to February 3rd. Open beta. Download it, play it, try it out, feel
Is
it
it
for
a
yourself.
weekend?
I think it is a weekend.
So it's
birthday
basically it's testing their servers 3 weeks before
Yes.
the release. So
Yep.
because 22nd's the release, so
Yep.
that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Nice. Good. See, Overwatch
Oh,
did it too.
you got a weekend birthday. Look at you.
Yeah.
Woo! And if you pre-order it, and the VIP demo will be available from the 25th to the 27th, which I think is the week beforehand. For pre-orders, EA Access subscribers, and Origin Access subscribers, and you'll get a special VIP demo item to show you were one of the first to play.
Ooh, schmancy.
So, if you're on the fence, an open beta is the best time to find out if you want it.
Yep, I'll be trying it out during that open beta.
Yes, so, as will I.
Yep.
I think everybody will be.
And then we can
Yep,
maybe talk
I'll be
about
doing it.
like in February.
Yes.
For sure.
Just remind me so I can request that weekend off.
Okay.
1st to the 3rd. Let's see.
Was there something else about Anthem that you wanted to say based on news stuff? I felt like there was, but
Those were the two that I
okay,
had.
my bad.
But for previous topics that we've discussed, unfortunately, Bethesda is in the news again.
When will
they-
it end?
One is positive though,
One is them like filling in their hole that they dug a little bit.
but that's positive.
Okay, but it shouldn't have to be positive. They should have done it from the start.
Yes.
Not kidding, but it's good for everyone else that actually ordered the
I
$180
agree.
one.
I just
That's
refuse
positive.
to praise them and say you did a good job because you
I'm
fucked up
glad
in the
that the-
first place.
I'm
It
glad
is
that people are
positive
getting
for the
what they
people
want. Yes.
that are getting what they actually paid for. That's the positive.
I agree. It is a positive. There's a difference between it being okay and praising them for being the good guys here because they're not
Yes.
the good guys.
I'm not
glad-
praising them. I'm happy for all the people that are getting what they actually paid for. That's
Yes.
what the positive.
Basically, they're sending out the canvas bags that they said they didn't have enough canvas for.
Yeah.
They found it somewhere.
Which they should have done, at the beginning. They shouldn't have tried to skim over it. Now they've got to pay for all the nylon bags and all the canvas bags, which they should have just done it in the first place.
Yep.
I mean, I'm
Agreed.
glad people are getting their canvas bags, but why did Bethesda have to make this so hard on themselves? Like, can't get my head around it.
This is the worst release ever. I feel like this is like B team that's been working on Fallout 76 or C.
Yeah.
Did all the people that were C team on Andromeda like come over to here, and then they became the marketing people as well? I mean, like,
I have no idea, but to me, it's like their reputation was good, and then Fallout 76, it literally just nosedived.
it fell out.
Yeah, like it. For the other bit of bad news, Bethesda has leaked Fallout 76 customer names, addresses, and contact details. On accident, I fucking hope so, their support system started sending support tickets from other people to different people that had their names, their addresses, their contact details, everything in it to just random people.
See, I want to know why your support ticket has all of that information in it.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Like,
thought that
I
was
want to
weird.
report a bug. Okay, please provide every bit of information we will need to track you down IRL.
I think it's because it's linked to your account, and then
But it still doesn't
when they
make any
send it
sense
to you.
that they would put it on, because Blizzard support tickets I've submitted in the past and have never
Yeah.
been kicked back to me with anything other than my account name, and that's it. Like, account name kicked back to the email of the account, and that's it. It doesn't have my real name on it. It doesn't have my phone number. It doesn't have my address. It doesn't have any of that information. I don't understand why that is even a thing that happened.
I feel
only
like
certain departments ever should have access to that. Like,
I honestly feel
support
like
should never.
No.
yeah, agreed. But I also feel like Bethesda at this point, they'll take one step forward and 3 steps back. Not even
Yeah.
2, 3. Like, they're like, oh, we're sorry, we fucked up. Here we go. We're going to try to make good on the fact that we fucked up. And let's fuck up worse than we did before.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, how is
Well,
this a thing?
I'm gonna go with they go to take a step forward, then they slip and just fall all the way back down the stairs again. They're like, "Yay! Look at everybody getting their canvas back!"
Yeah,
Oh
they
no!
step
It's like
on
they're
that.
trying to. It's like they're a kid on the playground trying to climb the slide instead of using
Yes.
the ladder to get to it.
Oh.
And they get up to the top. They're like, "Oh, slide."
Yes. Oh my
I
god.
was there.
So yeah, that's Bethesda again. I hope we can go a week without them being in the news, because I think we've talked about them every week since like October.
Well, Jim Sterling posted on Twitter like last week or week before last that he wanted to do a post-mortem for the game and the debacle around it, but it just keeps happening. So he hasn't
It
been
just
able to get
keeps
to a
filling
point
up.
where it's like, we've got all the news out of this we're going to, let's do a piece on it. It just keeps going.
Let me be funny for a minute. Damn it! Stop giving me more jokes to tell.
Right? I mean, at this point, Bethesda is the joke.
Oh
So-
my god, that should be as it should just say Bethesda Fallout 76, and then he's done.
And then
That's all he's
everybody
gonna-
starts laughing.
Well, I mean, the perfect would just be to do the whole video, and then at the end, to be continued? Question mark. Let's see. Oh, we have a few bits of miscellaneous before we get to the Game Awards, which I'm sure everybody has seen or heard something about it. Our favorite company, THQ Nordic, has acquired yet another IP. They now own the rights to the classic combat racer Carmageddon.
Carmageddon,
Which I assume-
1997 classic PC game, baby.
Which I assume they will remaster and re-release, because, I mean, come on, who doesn't want Carmageddon from 20 years ago? There's going to be some people who are just going to be like, hell yeah, I want that, I remember playing it. And other people are like, oh, wow, that looks fun, and just buy it new.
I
Well,
don't
and I think
recall ever hearing about it before.
Really?
I'm a terrible
1997?
person.
Well, to be fair, you probably didn't play PC games back in
No.
1997.
No, I didn't.
So
Yeah.
that would be why.
I remember this game. It was fun.
Yeah, it was. Definitely was.
But I mean, there are other games that I had heard of. That one's not even one, like Twisted Metal I've never played, but I knew it existed and I had friends who played it. That one I've just never heard of at all.
Carmageddon was probably more underground, I guess, or not a whole lot of people played it, because there was the controversy of it being able to like run over people in it, just like who were out and about, and parents saw that as like, you know, uber violent. I think they did a
So it was
version,
GTA?
Now we have
well,
GTA.
I think they did a version of it at one point where instead of people, it was zombies that you're running over.
Nice.
to-
Nice way to
try
skirt
make
that
it
issue.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
What else we got?
I don't know what you do with these, but the Ubisoft Club points that you've been gathering for the last 10 years will soon expire.
Soon
I've got a
being
shitload.
April.
I've got a shitload, so...
I didn't know what you did with them anyway. I thought they were the equivalent of Ubisoft achievement points,
Achievement
essentially.
points? Yeah,
I thought
so
that too.
apparently you can buy stuff with them. So if you have any...
So none of
look
us
at what
even
you can
knew
buy.
to spend them in the 1st place.
no,
I'm going to
I'm
load up
right.
my Ubisoft thing and
I'm-
see what I can do.
I'm gonna log
Yeah.
in and
Yeah.
find out.
Maybe that's what they're doing.
Maybe
is they're-
maybe I have enough to get a sticker. I don't know.
Hell yeah, I want a sticker. I want them to mail it to
How
me.
funny would that be, though? It's like one of those things where we turned around. It's like we got all these damn points. Had no clue what to do, and they're like, "Oh, you can buy this and this."
Oh,
and
you
this.
can buy a
And we're
game
like,
with it. Oh,
What?
oh, okay. Cool.
Today we learned.
and let's see. On a previous show, we talked about Devil May Cry 5 and that it had multiplayer, and we've all wondered about what they were going to do with that. Like Griff suggested horde mode. I thought co-op because there's 3 players, but apparently it is none of the above. It is a weird, stylized cameo multiplayer,
Which is
which
so funny
I
to me.
still don't know how entirely it works. But
I think
apparently,
it works the same way as like the Resident Evil 6 where you could invade people's games, only you'll be on the same side as the player and you'll be playing one of the roles of an NPC.
So technically, you could troll people by not helping.
But I mean, is it really trolling if you just show up? Because, I mean, they can still do everything. It's not like you're going to hinder them. You just
No, I
stand
guess you
there.
could
And
help-
then they
I
can
guess you could
rate
help
you
them.
on your performance in their game, essentially. So...
yeah, or
That's
if
weird.
if you're offline, it's gonna. Well, if you're offline, it will. It'll just use like a developer and they'll cameo in your game, or if it's not a real person, one of your friends' ghost datas will join your game. Like if Oak played it and I've played it and Oak's not online, his character would like appear in my game
kinda
and
like-
do
it's-
his thing.
It's kind of like what Forza used to do. I don't know if they still do this or not, but
The
Forza
ghost
used to do
racing?
it. Yeah, you'd have the ghost
Oh yeah,
racers.
I
that were
ran
part of
your ass off the road yesterday. Because
You did me?
Yes.
Yeah, because all the other racers in the race is all of my friends on my Xbox play. Like it had Red, it had No Pants, it had everybody
Race
on
was
my.
in the front, like every time I
Yup.
walked by.
And I was racing you, and I pushed you off the side, and you crashed.
I see how you are. I see how you are. I'm downloading this game just so I can run you off the road, bitch.
Nuh-uh, you won't be able to catch me. But I think that's weird to call it a multiplayer mode because it's not a mode. It's just a single player with your friends' cameos in it every now and then.
I mean, I guess how else what do you call it though exactly?
Just call it what it is. It's just a system in the game. It's not a multiplayer
It's really weird.
because you can't play it together all the time. Like there are certain missions that you can't guess cameo in.
Yeah, because it's completely solo. Also, the demo is on Xbox One, by the way. The demo will be available until the 7th. What is today? Today's the 9th. No, wait, December 7th until January 6th. Sorry, I can't read.
Words.
So it'll be for a month that you can test it out.
I imagine it's the same one that we had like at PAX and stuff.
Well, I didn't get
Yeah.
to play that,
See.
so...
Well, I
good
know.
thing I have a month, because my Xbox is not hooked up right now. PlayStation is.
So you'll get like 20 minutes of gameplay, which isn't bad.
Let's see. The last little article that we have is pretty substantial. There was a raid on the Starbreeze office, which is the company behind the Payday franchise and the failure that is The Walking Dead's Overkill.
Did that game come out?
Yeah, it came
Yeah,
out
it
and
came
just
out.
I didn't even
Boom.
know.
yeah,
There were
it-
people. There's videos online of people literally stopping the game and go, I cannot play this anymore. Done.
Mm-hmm.
It's just terrible? Okay.
It's
Yeah.
just bad. But apparently, Swedish authorities suspect insider trading. So we don't know.
Which means someone higher up knew the game was going to be bad.
Yeah. Well, it was just before they were about to go under. They were selling their shares, right, or something like
Yeah.
that. It was something.
They filed for restructure, is what it says.
Yeah. So somebody knew something that they weren't supposed to know yet. We don't know any like pure facts yet, so we're not gonna, we can't speculate too hard
And-
about it.
The thing that kills me is the fact that it's like the CEO of the damn company or whoever that decided to do that, and it's like he sells his shit knowing this is going to happen, and it's like you're the CEO of the fucking company. That is the dumbest decision ever because everyone's gonna know you did this. This isn't like, Billy Bob's secretary that's 7 rooms down. This is the CEO. By the way,
Yeah.
ultimate Swedish name, Billy Bob. You're welcome.
Yes, it's very popular in Sweden.
Yeah. Yep. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Yep.
All right. I think that's it for the regular news.
Regular news.
Yeah, those are the
Air
miscellaneous topics that we had.
Yes,
Yeah.
because everything else is about to be about the Game Awards and what happened there, so.
Yep.
Yay!
Yay. We want to start with the awards and stuff first and then get into the announcements.
Sure.
Yeah, let's go through the awards first.
Skim over some of our bigger categories here, which, by the way, Red Dead took a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it did.
It swept pretty heavily, but I am glad to, well, I'm sure everybody already knows, to say that the winner of Game of the Year was God of War.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is a little
and,
surprising, but
I mean,
not-
God of War
I mean,
was
like-
absolutely incredible. We need to get it. I have to add that into my library that I've played, so I will probably stream it too.
But I thought
Put it
it
on
was
our
great
gameplay.
too. As much as Red Dead Redemption won, that it didn't take that one. I thought that was
Yes.
quite interesting. I also thought it's very telling, in my opinion, of the game Celeste and the fact that it was up for Game of the Year, along with these more epic games, these AAA large titles versus just this little indie platformer. So I'm really interested in playing Celeste now because of that, which I was interested before, but now I'm really interested in playing it because of that. And then just thank God that Fortnite wasn't even up for it.
Yes, I'm very happy that it was not up for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, actually, speaking of Celeste, it did win a category. It won Best Independent Game.
Right, and it had some really good games that were in that particular category. Dead Cells, which is an amazing game, ended up winning, I think, best action game, which surprised me based on who it was up against. And then
No, God of War won Best Action Game.
was it action? There's one that's
No,
up there.
best action.
Oh, yeah,
Dead
yeah.
Cells.
Yeah, Dead
Okay.
Cells. Yep.
Okay, Best Action Adventure Game. Oh, okay, never mind. That's
Yep.
Weird category.
Yeah, it's very odd. Category. The Into the Breach, which is a strategy game that was that also did really well. Return to the Oberdin, which I'm in the middle of playing right now, which is amazing. And then The Messenger. That's a hell of a category right there for indie games. So props to Celeste for coming out on top on that one. So says it's very telling of how that game is. So that's pretty awesome. I thought it was quite interesting too. Best game direction, when you have things like A Way Out, Detroit, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, but God of War also won that category. So that tells you a lot about how that game is set up, and a lot of people had really, really good reviews, like 10 out of 10, stuff like that, when that game came out. So
Yeah,
that's good for the franchise for sure.
definitely. I'm glad they worked really, really, really fucking hard on it and put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into making that thing to what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy they won a couple of pretty big awards.
I think you could say the same for a lot of the games that were nominated. To say that
Yeah,
they
all
put a
of
lot
them-
of blood, sweat, and tears, everybody did. Like,
Yeah.
every game that's
Yes.
on these lists was, for the most part, worth being on there. I mean,
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why they're all on there. It's because of the amount of stuff they put into that. Stuff and things. Red Dead also won Best, did we say Best Narrative?
well, we talked about it before the show.
Oh, okay.
We talked about it before, so we haven't said it on here.
Yes, Red Dead Redemption 2 won Best Narrative against Detroit, To Become Human, God of War, Life is Strange. I don't think Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 should have been on there.
I
just
feel like
saying.
it should be the whole thing. Like,
Yeah,
that,
it should have been the whole thing.
episodic games and games that are in some form of pre-release, whether it's early access or beta, quote unquote, should not be nominated for things like that because they're not complete. And I think
Or
that it's
give them their own category of
developing games, things like that, developing
Yes.
game of the year or whatever.
Yeah. Marvel Spider-Man and Red Dead 2.
playable developing game of the year.
Yeah. I just thought it was strange that one episode was up in this category along with God of War, Detroit, Spider-Man, and Red Dead. Like,
Yeah.
one of these
like,
things
good
is not
God.
like the other.
Yeah. Personally, I thought Detroit. I haven't played Red Dead yet, or God, to be fair, I've only played one of those 4 games. But I feel like in that category, I think that Detroit is my best narrative game of the year, because I just feel like the amount of story that can be told in your way is super interesting. So, but Red Dead won it, and it deserves it.
I could agree with that. I mean, I love Detroit, but I see the flaws in Detroit's narrative as well. So I'm pretty pleased with it going to Red Dead on that one. So I think they're all great stories. Aside from, I can't speak to Life is Strange yet because I haven't done anything with it, or honestly, I haven't really heard much about it either. So it's one of the ones that I don't
since its release,
know.
you haven't really heard much on it.
Yeah,
so.
I don't really know, because I imagine a lot of people do Life is Strange like I do all episodic games, which is I'll wait until all of them are out so I can binge play them, because I don't like the idea of I played one episode, now let me wait months to play the second episode. Like,
Yep.
That kind of gameplay is just a terrible setup.
Congratulations to a game, Overcooked 2, for being the best
Yeah.
family game.
I like that
Best
it's
family
best
game.
family
For
game,
it.
but it's also the most likely to make you slap whoever's sitting on the couch with you.
It is cheap too. $25, folks. Overcooked 2, you will get hundreds of hours. If you have a few friends, you will get hundreds of hours out of that fucking game.
I was happy to see that Nintendo Labo was up for best family game, because I think that's just an absolute innovative thing for the industry, and I was glad to see that it was getting that recognition.
You like that all 5 of them are Nintendo stuff, are Nintendo games?
I don't think that surprises anybody.
Well, I mean, Starlinks can be on either one, and Overcooked 2 can be on any of them too.
Yeah,
True, but
that's
they're
true.
all on the Switch.
Yeah, but yeah, all of them are available on the Switch, yes. Which I think that's going to be kind of a regular thing nowadays. I think a lot of people are going to be trying to create games for the Switch.
Oh yeah, it's
Family
it's
game.
becoming pretty damn popular now.
Best sports game. I am one of those fans. Everybody knows I'm a FIFA fan. Stop putting games on here that are reoccurring.
FIFA,
They are the same
Madden,
fucking
NBA.
game
Over and over again.
Yeah, so like you had Forza Horizon 4, Mario Tennis, and those are the only 2 games that I can look at right now and go, okay, I get it.
They're
Those are
not
sports
clones
games.
of the last one.
Yeah. You know, and so
And I know we'll have sports people up in arms be like, well, they changed the rosters and they changed how some of the gameplay works and whatnot. The idea and the mechanics of the game are exactly the same.
Yes.
And I
I
guess
mean,
you
other
could
than-
argue that for
Rosters
Forza,
can be
but
updated by DLC at this point, anyways.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
they need to take like 2 or 3 years to kind of really overhaul the systems and just keep updating the rosters every year and kind of
well,
let
I mean,
people
I'm
do that and
fine
then do
with
a
if
big.
they want to release it every year because it's a sports title and that's what the people who hardcore play those games want. And that's fine. It's just like Oak said, I don't think it should be in the award category.
well, I mean, and they're giving us now. I would say this, like FIFA 19, Madden. I don't know if they've done it with NBA or not, but those games now have a campaign, if you will, to where you are following a plotline story and things like that for one part of it. But for the most part, most people just go in and play whatever the ultimate mode is and go in and play it. They don't play the campaign. I do because I enjoy the characters that they've created, and I'm a campaign guy. But not everybody does that. I don't see a whole lot of people going in and going, "Hey, I've got Alex, whatever his last name is, on the game," and that's why I play the game. That's not why people pick up this game. It's just not. Just stop putting him in the
Let me
category.
tell you,
I get it.
I voted for Mario Tennis on it.
So did I.
Because you could vote beforehand. I voted for Mario Tennis. Mostly because you can play a chain chomp with a tennis racket. That's real sports.
That's hard to do. Right.
That takes skill.
Yeah, it does. Well, a hefty learning curve.
One category that actually shocked me a little bit, like it was the best mobile game category, and it was Donut Country, Florence Fortnite, PUBG Mobile, and Reign's Game of Thrones. And for the life of me, I didn't even think that it was even going to be fucking close. Fortnite is just going to dominate the shit out of that category, but it didn't win.
Yeah, it was
Florence
Florence.
won. Florence beat Fortnite. Fortnite lost something. What the?
Well, part of that is because Fortnite Mobile is fucking bullshit. Like, it's a horrible. It and PUBG are not good to play on a mobile. Just not. And it's like, that's part of the reason why. It's like they put them in the category just because there are a lot of people that play it. Doesn't make it good.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that do play it.
And I think people in the industry are kind of, it's just a lot of this is voted by people in the industry. I think they're tired of damn Fortnite. And to be honest, first of all, it's still sitting in early access / beta. Like, it goes back to what Griff was saying earlier. It shouldn't be in any category. But guess what? The only thing it should be up for next year is whatever the reoccurring one was, the one that was ongoing games or whatever the hell they called it.
That it won.
Yeah, and like that should be the only thing it should be up for from now on.
They
That's
want
it.
best multiplayer game. I mean, I guess you could put it up for that too.
Best multiplayer game?
Yeah.
Yeah, best multiplayer was between Call of Duty, Destiny 2, Fortnite, Monster Hunter World, and Sea of Thieves, and Fortnite won it.
Which I thought was interesting because why would Overwatch not be included in that? I know Overwatch was the esports game. They won best esports game.
It's it was also in the best ongoing.
It won.
I think.
Yeah.
was?
Best
It
multiplayer
didn't win
game
it, but
won last year, I think. Overwatch won last year.
but I guess it's because they had a different, like, they wanted it to feature stuff like Sea of Thieves, which is new, as opposed to Overwatch, which has been out for a couple of years.
I guess so.
Which I stand by. The Game Awards should pick games from that year, which is fine. Fortnite's been out for long before this year, and it's still not even done. Like, don't pick a game
but
from
part of
last
it
year.
is going to be the popularity of it too. They have to pick games that are relevant too. You can't just be like, what are the 5 multiplayer games that came out this year? Well, nobody's playing 2 of them, but they're from this year, so we'll put them on the list. You put them on based on relevance.
But the battle royale part of it, which is what basically they're putting on here, wasn't available until February, was it?
We're in season 7. We've gone through 7 seasons in 6 months or like 9 months.
Yes, that's part of
Yeah.
the problem. They're not finishing the game and they're continuing to do it. They have a new season each month, basically.
Initial release July 25th, 2017.
Okay, so it's just over a year old. Or is that the BR version of it, or is that the?
I don't know.
September 2017 is when the BR version came out.
Okay,
last
so
year.
just over a year old.
Yeah.
And we're 7 seasons in.
Yep.
Good God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're running it to the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Well,
I mean,
they're-
people are
they're
playing
milking
it,
it.
so.
For
They're
what they
milking
expect.
it.
They're milking it. I mean, they can't.
Yeah.
Yep. Let's see.
I'm trying to see what
Didn't
else. If there,
Florence won best indie game too?
Best indie game?
Yeah.
Best indie game is Celeste.
Celeste okay,
won
my bad.
best indie game.
Well, it's nice to see that multiple indie games were not only
Yes.
nominated but won as well. Best debut indie game was The Messenger.
I do have to say that is the one thing that I absolutely love about the awards and whatnot is that they give so much exposure to all of these beautiful pieces of art from these indie developers. Like, instead of just, I mean, we need the AAA companies to keep making the incredible products they have, but sometimes they're a little afraid to kind of step outside of their box.
Yes.
And that's why I absolutely love seeing these indie games just come out with their style of art and just step so far off of the norm and just make something incredible. So I love seeing all of these great games from these indie developers. Kind of show the world what you got.
The highlight, I think, for me, for like all the awards, despite you got all these games, and I was really excited about certain ones. I was glad that eSportsman went to Overwatch, things like that. But the highlight for me, and I think it was for a lot of people that watched, was a guy I had no idea who this dude was at all whatsoever.
Yes.
And now I'm the biggest fan of this guy and want him to succeed in everything he does, which is Dominic's Sonic Fox McLean, who won Best Esports Player, showing up in a Fox outfit, this blue Fox outfit and everything else, and then announcing to the world that, super gay,
Super
quote
gay.
unquote. I loved it, and then he's a furry. He let everybody know he's a furry.
Yep.
I mean, but you couldn't tell when he walked on stage in the Fox outfit.
I kind of figured, but him saying it basically confirmed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I thought it was great. I thought it was great for the industry that you had this guy. That it just shows you this industry, if we just turn around and we are just all encompassing to everyone, and we make sure
Yes.
that we accept everybody for who they are and have a great time and just be happy as we possibly can. This dude, he comes on with the Fox thing because he's so nervous talking in front of a crowd that this gives him a mask, if you will, between the audience and himself.
He was still nervous
So he
though.
could-
even
Yeah.
then.
But then when he took it off, it was just this smiling guy that was on there, but he was just nerdy little guy that I absolutely love. I was like, this kid, I want to hug him. He's so awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Give him the old bro fist and say, "Keep doing what you're doing, man."
right? You do you, man. It's so
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
He's just so absolutely love that. But that was the highlight to me for when it came to everything else, other than some of the awards.
Yeah,
that
he
we handed
definitely
out.
stole the show a bit.
I don't think there's like the content creator. We knew who it was going to go to before they could have just had one name and knew it was going to go on there.
Yeah. I mean, they could have not put him in there, and then he still would have won.
Yeah.
I mean, he would have still walked up there and took it.
Yeah. And I'm really upset too because I'm not a big fan of him. But my favorite Muppet of all time and him have like this little sketch that they did, which is Pepe.
Yeah.
And I was where Pepe's up there taking selfies.
Shelfie.
Selfie. Come on, baby. Look at this. Line this up. Oh, that's not a good one. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good awards thing.
I do think it's interesting that the content creators were largely Twitch streamers instead of YouTubers this year. It used to be YouTube because people would actually make content and things like that, but this year it was like, okay, these people played games and entertained you, which yes is still content creation. It just feels different, I guess, to me.
I will be interested to see too, as things progress, go, how much of a mixture it ends up being, with YouTube and Twitch, and then over the next 5 years or whatever, something like Mixer or whatever another competitor might be, to kind of see where that's at. But last year, didn't Dr. Disrespect get it last year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
so.
Yes.
Yeah, I
So,
think he won.
yeah,
I mean, so
that
last year was also a Twitch streamer.
So, it should be. It's going to be interesting to see how that category progresses, because I think it'll show you where we're moving towards as
Well,
an
I think
industry.
part of it too is, and I thought about this just now as we're talking about it, but the difference between a YouTube creator and a Twitch streamer is that a YouTube creator will give you content and like each video gets a set amount of views, whereas with the Twitch stuff, it's constant streaming of live content. So they put out, like the Twitch people put out by far more content than the YouTube people do. So it's,
That's true.
I guess, a disparity between how much time you spend one place versus the other, because you spend more time with the live creators as they are live than you do on YouTube where you're watching the same 10-minute video.
Right.
Very true.
Right.
Which kind of sucks for me as a YouTuber, but that's okay.
We still love you.
Yes.
At least somebody does, right?
We still love you. Along with all the awards and stuff, we also had some game announcements that came out.
Ooh, all right, here we go.
Some of them more surprising than the others.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I think the one I was most surprised about, and they did a really good job of bringing it in, and it was one that I didn't know I was hyped for a game that I haven't played in years. That's got to be Mortal Kombat 11.
I was pretty surprised and hyped about it.
The intro for that was
Yeah.
crazy.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm terrible at fighting games, but as I've said many, many times over, I friggin' love them so much. And I am so ready to play, which I know I said about Soul Calibur, and I still haven't gotten to play that one either, which Soul Calibur did not win Fighting Game of the Year. A little sad about it.
Nope.
No, it was
Dragon Ball did.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah. Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur, if for nothing else but the character creator. But that video for Mortal Kombat was just incredibly full of hype for me. I want it right now.
I didn't get that excited about it.
Well,
Really?
that's how we're different.
Well, I honestly haven't really cared about the Mortal Kombat franchise in a while.
Do you
So
care
I'd
to
say
expound upon that, or just?
Yeah.
Well, I just haven't gotten into it since they did the weird reboot of the story.
I guess
Fair
that's
enough.
maybe why it doesn't matter as much to me, is because I wasn't as tied to the original story as somebody like you that's had a long-term history with it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna break somebody's spine out of their body. That's what I care about.
Well, that and I also haven't cared for the the thing. Well, Injustice does the same thing too, where it's the when you go through the story mode instead of seeing each character story, it's like one story mode. So it's like once you go through it, that's it. Whereas like the older fighting games used to be more like each character had their own little story that you got to see when you went through them. So it gave it more replay value.
I can see that. Would be nice
See
to
that?
have more individual stories. Although I do like that they do tell cohesive overall stories now, so that you can kind of see what's happening everywhere instead of being like, well, I saw this one guy's stuff who didn't have any of that guy's stuff in it at all because they didn't cross paths and things like that. I kind of like, I would like a mix of both, I guess. A little more of the solo stuff, but still have that cohesive over arc.
I can see that. Yeah.
But then again, I mean, like I said, the important part is how can I break this guy's spine out of his body? So
Well, that was always the main selling point of Mortal Kombat is, you know, the
Fatalities.
and
yeah.
then you get 3 and you get the babalities and friendship. And,
No. That's funny.
yeah, so some of them are just ridiculous. Like I think Liu Kang drops an arcade out of the sky somewhere.
See, that's why I told him to pick up the dog dishes before the show. I'm
No,
so
you said
glad
the
that
water
Marco
bowl.
listens to me.
The place for that larger food bowl, but I thought it was empty. She's sniffing around it, and then she's going away.
And now she's going away.
Well, there was a lot of stuff, and one of the other things that I hate that I felt so much hype for because I'm still really worried about is the tiniest, smallest teaser for the next Dragon Age. The Dreadwolf Rises. Oh my god, Dragon Age fans!
What did he say in it? He said, I'm surprised you found me.
I suppose you have questions, which is actually a line that is from existing content. If you have played Dragon Age Inquisition and then the Trespasser DLC, which if you have not played the Trespasser DLC, you have not finished the game yet, please go purchase and play. Thank you. But it's from that.
I haven't even finished the main story of Inquisition.
I just need to do the Trespasser DLC.
These are my disappoint face.
I think I got somewhere along the way, and my hard drive crashed out, and
Are you on PC or Xbox with it?
the PC.
Okay, here, I will send you a link. It's the same link I sent to Newbie after the show. Part of the reason I think people stall out on that game is the war table, which was one of the just... It was meant to be a time sink so that you couldn't rush through everything, but some of the missions on the war table are like 16, 17, 24 hours, and that's just a waste of time. Like, the idea is that you can't progress so that you go do other stuff or whatnot. I don't know what the main idea is.
No, that wasn't the issue. It's my hard drive completely
Well,
crashed out.
I get
and
that,
just
but a
had
lot
to
of
start it
people
over.
stop playing because of that, because they don't want to have to wait that time, or they are like, I'll have to come back in 2 days, and they forget about the game altogether. There's a mod on Nexus Mod that takes away the wait time for all of your war table stuff. Yeah. So I'll send you a link to that. Actually, I'll just put that link in Discord for anybody that's playing on PC at any point.
There you go.
I've got one more picture to paint anyway, so trying to not get too distracted.
But yeah, I'm super excited. And honestly, that tiny little trailer that's probably like 30 seconds or less, that reused content from a previous game, and then the hashtag for the upcoming game is all Blizzard would have had to have done in Diablo with the Diablo announcement for like D4 or a D2 remaster, and people would have been fine.
Deckard Cain say stay a while and listen and
Yes. Oh my
and
god,
then,
the
like, a
audience would have been
hashtag,
fine.
and that would have been enough.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know that Dreadwolf Rises is probably still a few years away.
They said you won't see it for at least another 3 years.
Yep. Because they're gonna focus on Anthem, and they're still working on that on Dragon Age, which is fine. But still, it's enough to placate people.
So they're giving CC team plenty of time instead of rushing.
It's the B
No,
team.
no.
They
B
fired
team
the
is
C
working
team.
on
Remember?
Dragon Age. Yeah,
C
C
team
team
is
is
fired.
gone.
Yeah,
They got
C team
fired.
was Mass Effect
They're now-
Andromeda. They fired them.
They're now at Bethesda marketing department. So.
Another game that got announced that was being teased all week by a certain studio that is named after a rock. the Obsidian Studio,
Nice lead.
announced their game, which is The Outer Worlds, from
Which, if
the
you don't-
creators of the original Fallout.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you don't recognize Obsidian, it's because they were the original Fallout creators and Fallout New Vegas, which is the most popular Fallout.
Yup, and this game looks good.
It's
From the
like-
little teaser that we got, it looks good.
It's like Bioshock, Borderlands, and Fallout had a baby together.
Bioshock, Borderlands, and Mass Effect. Fallout is more Earth related. Mass
Yeah,
Effect
but I
is more
mean-
space related.
Yeah, but Mass Effect doesn't have the kind of post-apocalyptic feel, and that's what this looks like. Since you're in like a new development, it's almost like
I would agree with that.
frontier-ish, but like nuclear wasteland frontier-ish because it's a different planet.
So,
So it
I'm
feels more Fallout
excited
to me.
about this one. Like I didn't know what to expect when Obsidian said that they were gonna be releasing one of their games trailers, and I was like, well, I hope it's really good. Da da da. I am really excited to like. I checked the end. I waited to the end just to see if Microsoft was like, we're gonna take PS4 away from that. But nope, a Microsoft studio technically now will be on the PS4.
Oh, but come on, you know they've been working on this game for a while.
Well, I'm
But
sure
I mean,
they
that's
have,
perfect
but
though.
still.
It's like, oh, look, we're not gonna make it exclusive. We own this company now, but it's okay. They were working on it beforehand. We're gonna let them make it for everybody. But then their next project, because everyone's gonna be drawn to them after this, their next project is probably gonna be
No,
for
I say
Xbox and
don't
PC.
make it exclusive so that Xbox has the upper hand looking like the good guy on that one, where they're like, we don't keep our properties to ourselves because we feel like all gamers should have a chance to play. Plus, how salty is it when Sony is like one of their top selling games of the year is actually from a Microsoft studio? How salty is Sony, and how much bigger does Microsoft feel about that? Like, talk
we
about
didn't
your
get to
ego
talk about
boost.
this, but Jeff Keighley got the 3 big dogs.
Yep.
Like I am talking, I would have never expected this in a billion years. But the 3 big dogs to get up on stage together
It's
and
Reggie
talk.
Phil, and I don't know who's in charge of Sony. I'm sorry.
Uh,
I don't see that guy enough, I guess.
I'm pretty sure Sony doesn't even know who's in charge of Sony anymore.
That's terrible.
Just call it like I said. But the
throw a
three
suit on a guy and send him out there.
the 3 of them got out there together though, and talking about how gamers should all be together and sticking together and all that stuff.
Except for Sony.
Which is ironic when you got Sony out there, who's the one that's against cross-platform.
Yes.
So
We're protecting our players from all those mean Nintendo people. Like, are you?
I mean,
Are you
I mean, that
really?
is just crazy to look at that picture and understand that it is Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo all up there with their big dogs talking about how we all need to play together. It's like, even if they are competitors, they're still working together towards a future into which we are all gamers.
Some of
together.
them are. Some of
Well,
them
he
are.
said it. He said it at least. Nintendo's
service.
fully on board. Xbox is fully on board. Sony is getting pushed on board.
Sony's like, you're gonna get left out. Like, everybody's like, you're gonna get left out if you don't get on this boat, Sony. And Sony's like, we don't want to get on the boat with you guys. Sony.
So they just lassoed his ass and fucking dragging him out to sea. No, fight in the water.
He's on a little tugboat thing,
Yes.
or a little.
They throw like crumbs after him as he's going behind the boat. He's like, "Fine, whatever." I don't want this anyway.
Fine. Oh, speaking of things that are cross-platform, well, this is not cross-platform, but it's interesting that they announced a new Super Smash Brothers character, and it's Joker from Persona 5, which is a PlayStation exclusive,
right.
who will be in Super Smash, which is a Nintendo exclusive.
Man,
So weird.
the crowd erupted because it's like that right there is Sony taking another step, another pull towards
Another
the
baby
boat.
step. They're like shuffling their feet begrudgingly towards everybody else.
I am interested to see if we end up with an Xbox exclusive in that same genre. So.
I
Master
would.
Chief.
Oh my god!
Which I mean, Master Chief's been, what was it, Soul Calibur or something?
He's been in Soul Calibur.
So, but I can't really see it. It would have to be like an animated version of Master Chief, which would be hilarious, like a little 2D version of him or some shit like that.
It
But,
would have to be 2D. Super Smash is fully 3D.
yeah, but it's just he's real. Like everything else looks cartoonish on that game because of the way that Nintendo art is, right? So I'd almost
Yeah, but they would
something
have
like
to do
Recore or
Master.
something like that. You know,
They would have to do Master Chief. though.
Banjo Kazooie would be a great fit.
That's true.
Oh yeah, use some of the Rare property. That's
I still
Yeah.
think they'd have to go with Master Chief because he's the biggest.
Well, I mean, I get that he's the biggest, but
face.
Joker's not exactly the biggest Sony person out there, or else they would have put Nate Drake in it. So it's just what character
really
would fit
'Cause
in it.
right now it's Spider-Man. Just saying.
Well, that's true. But Spider-Man's also a licensed
To be
character,
fair, they
so
would have put
to-
Kratos in there.
Yeah.
He did win Game of the Year, so
Yeah, it's a licensed the character that.
And
Sony owns currently.
Snake is in Super
Smash Bros. Yeah.
So.
Mhm.
And he's more realistic. I mean, they could also go with Marcus from Gears.
Ooh, that's true too.
Wow, that
That
would be
would be
interesting.
so crazy. Oh my god.
Kirby,
Where are you going with this, Nintendo? We need to know.
Yes.
Kirby tries to suck him off. He just launches a grenade into him.
Same thing with Yoshi. Actually,
I
well, no,
would
I
just
won't. I won't
throw-
spoil that. I was gonna.
I would just use the chainsaw on Yoshi all day.
Yeah, all day, every day.
Uh,
So go ahead.
one of the games that was announced, which I was extremely excited for until I found out who was making it, is the first thing we see is this nice pirate ship and a bunch of fantasy shit going on.
Oh,
and I'm
shit.
like, oh my
Oh.
god. So really awesome. And then you see that it's made by Wildcard, which is the same people that made Ark.
And you're
and-
instantly less inclined to like it.
Yeah, it is 1,200 times the size of
So
Ark.
they say.
But what's weird is it. Who does Wildcard? Is that the main studio?
Yes.
Why
Yes.
are they not the developer or the publisher on the Steam thing then?
Are they not?
It's Grape Shot Games and Instinct Games are the developers, and the publisher is Grape Shot Games.
That's
Weird.
weird.
Yeah, so Wildcard is not the ones with their hands in this one.
I
Let me
I'm
look
still
at
not
Ark real
okay
quick.
based on Ark's
May-
history.
Well, I mean, I'm reading right here. It says Studio Wildcard says
maybe
that
it's the people who initially were working on Ark and they left and went to do this.
No, it says in the article I'm reading, it says Studio Wildcard says the single world can have 40,000 players in it. So
Okay, Grape
that
Shot Instinct.
so they're there.
Games.
I mean, 40,000.
Their only similar developer is Instinct Games. Instinct is the only one that's between the two ones.
According to this, it's saying that it's Wildcard that did it.
Yeah, Studio Wildcard.
So
I have no idea. But
that's odd.
that game is my game to watch because I think it is way too fucking ambitious for what they want. 40,000 players, which I guarantee it's going to be all sharded for certain sections. Like it's all invisible barriers. When you cross one, you're jumping into another server and things like that. Like
That
all the
makes sense.
different biomes will be servers. So when you cross over a biome, you're entering into another server, like no lag server.
Not even MMOs have that many people per server.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking
Well, to be fair,
it's
Blizzard is
capable
pretty-
of is not.
Blizzard is pretty fucking close these days because there's so much phasing in that game where you'd be surprised at how many people are actually.
But
in it.
I almost feel like when you're doing this, you could set it up, and if you had like an event or something like that was one part of the world that they've created, you could crash the fucking server because everybody's in that one area based on what you're saying right there.
Yep.
Because
Well, I mean,
So-
it may not even be crash the server. It's can anybody's PC run it if the server can hold that many people and these people are like, they do an event, like Ark does all of the holiday shit, or did, and everybody comes to one concentrated area. Can your computer even run it? Or does your game crash out because your PC can't handle it?
I guess we'll find out this week. 'cause it
That's
comes
why
out on
I want to
PC.
watch it. 40,000 people on a server, and the damn map is 1,200 times
I would
bigger
like
than
to
Ark.
point out that PlayStation did something very similar to this when they launched the PlayStation 3 and had MAG, which was going to be 64-player multiplayer, I think is what it was. And one, they couldn't sustain it. Two, people are like, oh, that's neat, and then literally nobody wanted to play it. Because, I mean, it's basically they saw the PlayStation got really
Yeah, that
ambitious
was
with
also-
it, and then
that
it
was
just
also-
died because
that
they
was
couldn't
also a
do what they
generic
wanted
shooter.
it to do. Yeah, but it also couldn't handle what they wanted it to handle, and PlayStation
that was
servers were not in place to handle it either.
That's also a console versus PC.
Well, and I'm not going to disregard that. I'm just saying there have been previous games that made huge technological boasts like that and then couldn't follow through on them.
And that is why I'm saying, watch it. I'm not buying it. I want to watch this thing.
You can start watching it next week, actually, because it's
No,
gonna launch.
in 3 days.
Today
That's
is
next
Sunday.
week.
That's technically next
Oh.
week.
Well, in my world, Sunday is the first day of the week.
Well, Sunday is the last day of my week because it's when we record the podcast.
Sunday is the first day of my week, and that's what my calendar tells me too.
Whatever. It's launching soon on PC in early access and on the Xbox One preview
Is it-
program.
Here's the thing: there's no price that's set up on this. Normally, like, what was it, like $30? I think originally for
Arc was 30 when it first hit early access.
I
And
want it
then
to be
was
free to
60
play.
before it launched.
I
If
want
this
it to be
is free to play, then we could just play it.
Yeah, I want this motherfucker to be free to play, and I want the servers just flooded with as many people
It's
as
not gonna be
possible.
free to play.
Just to see. If they want 40,000 people playing at a time, it has to be free to play,
That's
or
not
it has
gonna
to be
be.
cheap enough for that many people to be willing.
My guess
to
is it
try
comes
it.
out at 30. When it hits, time for people to pick it up, it's probably going to be 30. That's my guess.
We will, then the servers will. I can guarantee now the servers will not be full.
No.
Because Arc barely. Well, I guess it does hit pretty high numbers. Probably not as high as it used to, but 40,000 people is a lot of people to fill up.
Only when they
servers.
have expansions, which is why they keep making expansions and not worrying about the rest of the game.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna keep my eye on that one. I want to watch some streams. I want to see what that world
To
looks
me,
like.
it just comes across as being overly ambitious, and it's not gonna be cohesive just because of how much they want to do with it. They want you to be on pirate ships. They want you to be like Knights of the Round Table and running around. They want you to be like all armored up and hunting things in the forest. They have so much that they want out of it that it feels like they said, "What are all of the ideas we have? Let's do every one of them." And that's hard to do in a game that makes sense.
I'm interested to see how that works too.
It's a fantasy world.
Is it based on like to be a pirate? You need to start in a particular part of the world.
Yeah, I mean, is it like factions?
Yeah,
Are there,
like
how much
very-
crossover do you have?
The-
Because if you went all piratey and like it's an MMO, so assuming you have like levels up and whatnot, does your piratey, spec essentially translate if you want to go with your friend who decided to be a knight? Can you as a
I think-
pirate mount up on a pony and ride into battle with him?
Well, and I'd be interested to see too is the materials different based on where you're at in the world too. So your building materials would be different. Let's say where the pirate world is versus the fantasy world, and
all the
so-
different biomes, like you're
Yeah.
gonna like specialize. I mean,
and
which
then
is,
do you start up trade agreements?
Yeah, like the world. If they want this to work, there are so many intricacies that they could do. Like you're a knight and you want to go to war with a different one, but you're gonna need some pirates to take your army across the seas. So you're gonna have to make alliances with these different factions in the different biomes so that you can travel across the sea.
They could do like the old Star Wars Galaxy system, but where like everything was done by player base. So anything you needed to be made or bought, if you couldn't make it yourself, you had to go get another player to do it. Like there were no like vendors to go buy like all any of these components whatsoever. You had to go find someone that could make it, and it was always another player, and it kept the economy from going nuts.
That's a pretty
as
smart
far
way
as
to do it.
Price ranges and stuff.
Well, and then I guess socially it builds a community as well. So because you have to
because
communicate
like
with these
if
people.
you could make something that no one else could, and you needed something made, you can go, okay, well I'll make you this item if you make me this, because I need this component for my ship or something. Or that when they introduce ships, I think that people would ferry other players around to different parts of the galaxy.
It's so ambitious, and I'm not convinced by any stretch that it is going to work. But personally, I love to watch people push the envelope as hard as they can, because I like to see what works and what doesn't. Like Ark was super ambitious, and I would still be behind them if they did not. Yes, if they did not decide to do DLC before the game was released. Like, even if they released the game and it was still moderately buggy but they kept support and then released expansions after the game started stabilizing. Cool, I'm with
After the
you.
game was in full launch.
Yeah, and then started stabilizing.
Never release DLC before your full launch.
No.
No.
And I do understand to an extent, if your game is in early access and is free to play, then I understand doing microtransactions to keep the development of your game moving forward. But that money that you put in there either needs to be refunded when the game gets fully released so that you could just buy your cosmetics again, or all of those cosmetics just be carried over when the game is fully released. Just so that what you invested in, you still keep.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
So, I mean, if it's free to play and there's a bunch of cosmetics that you can buy, then so be it. That's a way to sustain a
I would agree with that. That's a good way to do it. But at the same time, with as ambitious as it is, I imagine the development cost is pretty high. And I imagine buying and running the servers for the sizes they're going to run is also expensive, which is why I don't think it'll be free to play. Because they can't count on microtransactions selling enough. So I think that it's going to have a base price, and then it would not surprise me if it has microtransactions in auxiliary to the base release price. So I guess we'll find out in a few days as far as money goes.
Yes. I will be watching it very closely. I will probably talk about it next week. Depending on how it goes, I will make a decision on what I want to do about it.
Yes.
I like Steam because people are very vocal and when they're reviews, so I assume when this game comes out, I'm going to give it a few days before I start seeing how it stabilizes.
Especially if it's from a game that is from a previously controversial studio, just let it settle out, because immediately it's going to get review bombed by the people that hate it, it's going to get boosted up by the people that loved the studio of the previous game, so you need to wait until those even out.
Mm-hmm. Watch some streams, watch videos, listen to the developers as long as they're open and communicative. Just be very aware of what they are doing, because this is a very ambitious game. Ambitious.
And I'm looking at it now. There is going to be both the PvP servers and PvE like they did with
PvE.
Ark.
No way will I play on... After what happened with Ark, there is literally no way I would ever play any of the survival games on a PvP server.
Yeah, I would definitely play a PvE server too, because I just want to live in a fantasy world, but I don't want to be subject to a bunch of assholes who just want to make your life as miserable as possible.
You mean like when you guys first loaded into Ark the first time, and you guys, as soon as your characters popped up, got trank darted and sent to a battle death arena? What? You don't want to do that?
I also think a PvE world will develop a very realistic economy and whatnot. Like if there is just people, because they'll have to interact and farm materials, and I build ships and I can make ships for these, and then they're going out to fight monsters on the sea. They take damage. They have to bring it back to you. You can repair their ship. Things like this. Like I can build a job for myself in a PvE world. Otherwise,
I already have a real job.
I'm gonna kill you. If I was born in the medieval ages, I'd want to be a shipbuilder. I'm kidding, not a shipbuilder. I'll be a mercenary or something.
Some of the stuff that they've got in here is very interesting, because it's like physically sail in real time across vast oceans. So do I just let my ship go and I go?
Well, and that's what I was wondering too. Like based on how Ark was, do you have to worry about, one, every time you log off, you've got to find somewhere to dock your ship, or else it's just free floating in the ocean? And two, will people sink your ship while you're offline?
Depends, PvE or PvP server.
Or will the environment do it? Because there's those giant.
The environment will do it.
Well, see, I was thinking even if it's a PvE server and you have a ship, other people will just gently nudge your ship into the rough waters and then watch it die.
And this is why, if you're going to be on the seas, you have to make sure you have a crew that can be around.
It's fine that you say make sure that you have a crew, but you are asking people to guarantee that they have at least 25 folk that will have rotating shifts of when they will and will not be on and off.
No, hold on.
Ugh.
Actually, this is addressed. Captain your crew. Recruit real players and AI crew from free ports, or rescue seasoned crew from destroyed Army of the Damned shipwrecks to man distinct stations on your boat. So there are going to be AI for you to be able to kind of boss around. That's interesting.
I'm super interested in these live timed games where you've got to be careful. It's like real life. If I could be reborn in a fantasy world, I would. But unfortunately, as
that's
close
fine,
as I can get
but
is...
that's the thing, though, is you're playing a game, and there's so much of a time sink that kind of stuff wants from you that you can't do anything else. It is like having another job. That is part of
Or
what I
another
didn't
life.
like about Ark.
I did like Ark. I hated that I had my dinosaur died.
I liked Ark as far as what you could do in the game. I didn't like the restrictions that it imposed upon you, which is if you don't log in with this in this amount of time based on whatever your material that you built your stuff out of, then people will be able to take it down and steal all your shit. So it's like if I'm sick for a week and I just like am in bed not feeling like getting to the PC, all my shit's going to be gone when I get back. All that stuff that I might have spent months working on will just be gone because I couldn't come and log in. Like I don't like that kind of requirement.
What if they just make it so that if you bought a house in it, you just get to have that house forever? Like create a portal into which, you enter this building.
But here's the problem with that is then you've got people like essentially dead houses that people have bought a long time ago and haven't been back to, but you have so many people on a server that you run out of space.
Well, no, what I was going to say is like it's a portal.
The window time of it, like if you haven't logged on in like a year, then delete it.
Well, no, I was talking about like if you go like they have this apartment complex. When you enter the door, you enter.
So you want it to be
house.
like Rift did with their
where everybody
spaces.
has their own. Like when you buy a house, you get this house. This is your little safe haven, and it's yours forever. It doesn't take up any place on the server. It doesn't take up any physical space on the server. It's just where you can go to log off. It's yours. You can fast travel to it or some shit like that.
We'll
lots of
talk about
speculation.
it. Yeah, we'll talk about it when we know more about it. We've spent a lot of time on this. There's still a few things that we should probably get to. Just very quickly, I never played the first Psychonauts, but we were watching the award show with Newbie, and you would think that someone just told him he won like the Powerball Lotto with the reaction that Psychonauts 2 got out of him. It was crazy. I mean, it was kind of cute, but seriously, I've never seen.
I was really
hype.
excited about the Psychonauts as well. Not to that point, but I was excited about it. To where it is. It's one of those where with Double Fine games, when they're coming out with the game, I always am looking at it going, okay, what am I getting? Because they make really good games usually with really good story. And then when I saw that it was Psychonauts, I thought immediately it was going to be like a remastered version of the original. And then seeing that they've created the second one makes me really excited for it because it does have fun gameplay, a good storyline, and it's funny. They usually have pretty good humor in those games. So I'm excited about it, but I'm not to the point where I want a Powerball.
It's 15 years afterwards, so I guess there's reason to be excited. Maybe everybody just assumed there would never be another one. And it looks cute, though.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah, it looks
cute.
good for sure.
I don't think the first one sold all that well. It became
didn't.
more of
It
a
got
cult following.
Yeah, it was a cult following.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then something that sort of leaked a little bit before the award ceremony was Far Cry New Dawn, which is, I guess it's going to be to Far Cry 5 what Blood Dragon was to 3, which is an auxiliary campaign that is at a discounted price because we're using the same maps and whatnot. But this is set years,
It's
indeterminately
only 15 years.
Is
It's
it 15?
15 years.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that it had a date. But yes, it's 15 years after the end of Far Cry 5. So it's the same area.
Which I don't think is actually realistic. I mean, 15 years after a nuclear bomb goes off, everything starts growing back.
It depends on how big the nuke was, and where it was at. Because they didn't, from what it seemed like at the end of the game, because there you go, you've already told people what happened. It didn't seem like the nuke went off in the town that you spend all of your time at, or in the specific area. It was right next to or close to. Because you see the mushroom cloud in the distance, and you are in the main part of the area that you've been in. So I don't know exactly where they nuked, but maybe that's part of it, is where the stuff that we've seen thus far with all the growth and everything is far enough away that it wasn't super irradiated because it was a small warhead, maybe? I mean, I don't know. Far Cry gets sometimes kind of weird about their physics and how closely they want to stick to reality.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a nuclear bomb. Things shouldn't be growing back just a little over a decade afterwards. But
I
whatever.
don't know.
What do I know?
But
I would have figured that it would have taken place, 25 to 40 years later.
Yeah, something a little bit longer of a span.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, even with something like Hiroshima or whatever, there are people that still live, that have moved back into those areas
Yeah.
and things, so it makes sense. But this is weird.
Yeah.
Like,
I
And
just want to see. But
All
at
the
the
mutated animals and things.
Well, see, I don't
Well,
even know
I
if they're gonna be mutated because it showed some of the animals in the trailer and they look fine.
No, they are definitely mutated. The damn horns of them are pink with little white dots at the top of them, and they're
yeah, I
like
guess
pink and
they're
white. And the
colored.
cougar has moss that has grown all over its back.
I thought it was dirty.
No,
Okay.
it's like mutated animals, which I'm like,
But
in
there's
15
there's
years.
a boar in the picture right there. That's fine.
I think that's your pet, though. I think that's your pet.
Well, there's also a dogo. It was in the car with you. So I'm fine with that as long as I can still have animal companions. Don't take away my animal companions. Thank you, Far Cry, for giving them to me. But-
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, cheeseburger was the
cheeseburger.
best. But it's two twins that are going to be the bad guys in this, twin sisters, and I imagine based on previous Far Cry stuff that you'll probably have to side with one of them and take out the other, and it's going to be a lot of those morally gray places, like lesser of two evils for your own
Really,
opinion.
I think you're just gonna have to kill them both
You think
because
so?
first of all, they're twins, so they're probably pretty damn close. I don't foresee them kind of, oh my god, this main character is so cool. I hate
I
you
don't
now.
think
We're
it's going to be
gonna
about
separate.
the main character, but I could see them having a rift develop because Far Cry, the series, does like to make you make choices like that. Which some of the choices are more black and white than others. Into Far Cry 3.
I think it's going to be a lot of like survival choices on how you're going to reestablish living
all
in this
I know
area
is they
and
still
dealing
give
with
me
these
the
people.
bow and they gave me animal companions back, and it's $40 instead of $60. So,
And when I say
I'm
these
pretty-
people, I mean the group of horrible people that just roll up on people. What they said in the trailer is either you have two options: either you give us your shit,
or we
or
take
we
it.
kill you and take it.
Yep.
well, it's $40 instead of 60. So I wonder how long this game is, and then if there's going to be a bunch of DLC added on afterwards to pay.
No, it's
If
just
there's
a reused
DLC,
map.
don't buy it.
It's just a reused map.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's largely why it's coming out at a smaller price, is because it's the same map from Far Cry 5. They've just added more dirt and flowers.
flowers.
There's a lot of the pink flowers.
It does look like a mod. It just looks like they went in and went, all right, now we can create a plot line with, a plot line around this mod. So,
It's
Wouldn't
neat.
be surprised.
yep.
I think
So-
it's neat. Crash Bandicoot Racing is getting a remaster, nitro fueled. Crash Team Racing nitro fueled. That's getting a remaster. And then, was there anything else that you guys like? There was a bunch of smaller stuff. Is there
I was
anything
interested in
specific?
scavengers. It is.
Yeah, and I
Four-
signed up for the thing on it.
So did I. It is a 4-player. It's a multiplayer survival light shooter, where you can and cannot work with your team to find stuff and escape. Which I assume is sometimes you might have to leave them, or you might want to, so that you get more of the stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I find it interesting concept. I signed up for the beta, so I'll know more if I get to play it.
Yeah, same here. So we'll see. And anybody can sign up right now. It's still
Yes.
it popped up a thing.
It's scavengersthegame.com, I think.
Yeah.
Let me check that real quick. Let me confirm that.
It's by a company called Winter something, right? So
Yeah, Midwinter.
Midwinter.
PUBG is getting a winter
just
map.
Scavengers game.
Yeah.
Yeah, PUBG. I like winter maps, but I uninstalled it. I will not be going back.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, PUBG. You gave me a lot of hours of entertainment, but you are still broken as fuck.
Oh, Fortnite, which none of us are super interested anyway, is introducing The Block, which will feature user-created content from the creative mode. So they want the players to create their own stories with creative mode because apparently Epic has forgotten that they made their own creative mode and sold it as a $60 single-player experience. So good on them for that. And two, you want the community to develop the new maps for you?
Fill-
and the
filled
new
with
content?
kids?
And incoming dicks.
Yep,
Yep,
dicks
that's
everywhere.
the first thing I fucking said is that there are going to be so many penises just sitting in the middle of it. They're going to be like, is that a
Well,
penis?
based on what they're saying though, it's you go into creative mode and you create what you're gonna do, and then submit it. Then they approve it based on whether or not that it's doable or whatever, based on what they were saying. So we'll see. So yes, they're probably going to get a lot of submissions that are going to be that, but it won't be it won't be on the block.
It depends on if they're going to figure it out or if they're going to let the community vote on it.
Because if the community votes on it, still dicks.
That is the problem with games of that size, is you cannot let the community take over of what they want. I mean, because you've got so many fucking people playing this game, they're all just going to troll the shit out of people.
It's when it's little kids.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the downside to having such a big community. You're going to have a bunch of dicks.
I'm interested
Literally.
I'm interested in the creative mode of it, though. I think it'd be interesting just to play with friends on the creative mode and just see what you can create as.
I'm thinking I would be sad to have to be one of the employees if they do curate the stuff themselves, where they're like, let's click on this one. All right, that's dick map number 75 today. I swear I'm going to quit this job.
Why are there so many dicks in this damn creative mode? What the hell's wrong with these
It's
people?
like, nope, maybe, flipped it around, nope, and
Nope. I think that's still a dick. Yep, it's a dick. Nope. Like, oh no, I'm
this
so
one
sorry
looks-
for you, Epic employees.
This one looks pretty good. We can move over to here, go inside, poster of a dick. Damn it!
They're going to build a beautiful house and whatnot. Inside, it's just going to be a giant statue of a dick. They're going to be like,
Either
yeah, I
that
want this
or
one.
the like super huge boob anime chicks. Yeah, and it's gonna be like, no. I guess then they'd at least have some variety. Boobs,
Right.
boobs, dick, boobs. You know, like, oh,
Boobs
my
and
God.
dick.
Cat with boobs and dick. What?
Representing everyone.
That's
Just thought that was a weird choice. What else? I think we've covered most of the big stuff.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
So,
Yep.
for brevity's sake, we'll just say that that's most of it and be good with that. And if there's anyone that we missed on the list and you want to have a discussion about it, you're welcome to hit us up on the YouTube comments down below, or on Twitter at InfiniteResPC, or Discord, which will also be linked down below this video, and I will put it in the Podbean stuff and all that fun stuff. So if you want to continue the discussion, which we highly encourage, please feel free to do so in any of those forums.
For sure. Anything else? Anybody wants to?
I guess just some like business side of things. Next week will be our last podcast for the year, you guys. So I imagine next week will be less news
And also-
and more us just. Now I'm tired of 2 weeks off from you people. I'm all about it. I'm just kidding.
I wish I could get 2 weeks off from you, but unfortunately, I live with you.
But yeah, I imagine next week will be not so much news and more us talking about our game of the year, things we've played this year, things that we're looking forward to next year, all that fun stuff. So it will be a little bit different, but then we will be out for 2 weeks until after the new year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Woo-hoo. So, we do appreciate it. Everybody that hangs out with us each and every week in Infinite Respawn. As always, you can check us out on Twitter at InfiniteResPC. You can check me out personally at MDBOaktree. Check out Griff.
At Griff Slanum.
Check out Chicken.
At Elite Chicken 313.
Check out Baka.
At Baka Pickle.
Also, make sure you go to Griff's YouTube channel. Go on there where she's currently playing through Uncharted 4, I believe.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Which I have to
Currently
re-record today.
Yep. So she's doing that. So make sure that you follow her adventures with Nathan Drake, and all his fam and friends. All of it.
Besties.
Fam and friends. Yes. So make sure that you follow on that. Also, make sure you go to twitch.tv/EliteChicken313, where you can watch the Chicken Man. And I said
No.
Chicken Man.
That was terrible.
Yeah, the Chicken Man.
The Chicken Man. So you can watch Chicken play through some awesome video games, and he's about to change the schedule up a little bit. So be watching for that. Make sure you follow him on Twitter so you can know when those new dates, times, all that good stuff is. Or get in the Discord, and then you'll know immediately, because we talk about it all the time. So you'll have some idea on it. Also go to mixer.com/MDBOaktree, and you can watch me stream as well. For Infinite Respawn, I'm Oaktree.
I'm Griff.
I'm Chicken.
I'm Baka.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.
Please hang up and try again.